Cancer. Something is coming your way, soft like a whisper, yet powerful enough to stir the deepest waters inside you. It's not the attention you gently seek, nor the comforting moments you carefully build around others. It's a quiet, unexpected light that finds you when you're unguarded, exposing pieces of you that have lived quietly beneath the surface for years. You've likely become the emotional anchor in many people's lives, the one who listens, comforts, protects. You know how to smile through the ache, how to shift the focus to others so no one lingers too long on your silent wounds. But this week, something shifts. A word lands too close to home, a glance lingers too long, a silence stretches just enough, and someone sees you. Not the nurturing, composed, strong on the outside Cancer, but the soul beneath, the one with feelings too tender to name, the memories you packed away to protect your heart. Feels vulnerable, doesn't it? And yet, maybe this is the doorway you didn't know you needed, because sometimes it's when you stop shielding your heart that the right eyes finally recognize its beauty. So if these words are reaching you right now, I want you to take a breath, drop your shoulders, maybe even make yourself a warm drink, something that reminds you of safety. Because the path we're about to walk together isn't just a message, it's a mirror. And before we begin, leave me a short comment. I am ready to be seen, just so I know you're still here, still brave, still choosing to feel. Cancer. This week someone will see you not the composed, nurturing version you offer to the world, but the raw, quietly aching truth of who you really are. This won't be one of those moments where you've chosen your words with care, where your smile hides just enough pain to keep the peace. It's the kind of being seen that happens when you don't expect it, when your heart flickers open for just a second, and someone notices what you were hoping to keep to yourself. You've always been the protector, the one who remembers, who senses what others feel before they speak, who offers comfort before being asked. You know how to guide conversations gently away from your own pain, how to retreat into your shell when things feel too exposed. Most people think they know you, but they only know the warmth you offer, not the wounds you carry. Cancer is intuitive, thoughtful, endlessly giving. But this week, the universe won't let you hide behind those familiar roles. There will be a moment, maybe fleeting, maybe quietly intense, when your guard lowers. A single tear you didn't mean to let fall, a sigh you didn't realize you made, a pause in your voice when speaking about something you pretend doesn't matter. And in that stillness, the real you, the one with stories too deep to explain, with feelings you've buried in soft corners of your soul, will rise to the surface. Astrologically, this moment is not random. The moon, your ruling planet, is deeply entangled with Neptune and Jupiter this week. The moon represents your inner world, your emotional tides, and your memories. When it touches Neptune, your emotional boundaries blur, and your truth spills out, no matter how gently you've been holding it in. Then, Jupiter magnifies it all, expanding the reach of those tender moments, and inviting others to see you more clearly than ever before. This week, you won't be able to protect every part of your heart, and that might be exactly the point. Some Cancers will feel this exposure like a threat. If they see how deeply I feel, will they walk away? But others, perhaps you are beginning to feel that carrying this emotional weight alone has become too heavy. This week feels like a soul-level exhale, a shedding of the image you've maintained to be safe, in favor of something softer and far more real. You'll sense it in small ways. Someone lingers a little longer after you speak vulnerably. A loved one doesn't rush to fix things, but simply says, "I'm here." A message arrives just when you need to hear it. Proof that your energy has been quietly reaching those meant to receive it. These are not coincidences. They're the universe whispering, "You don't have to do this alone anymore." And here's the truth. The less you try to hold it all together, the more magnetic you become. Not because you're striving, but because you're allowing, because you're letting others in. This is the difference between being admired and being felt. One is applause you earn. The other is connection you allow. Cancer, this is not an ordinary week. This is a turning point, a sacred invitation to step into a space where you don't have to perform, manage, or protect. Just be. Yes, some moments may feel raw, but if you can stay with them, if you can breathe through the discomfort, you'll unlock a deeper intimacy with others and with yourself. So, if you're hearing this now, pause. Inhale slowly. Let your shoulders soften. Maybe wrap yourself in a warm blanket or hold a mug of tea close to your chest. And before we continue, I want you to leave a short comment. I am ready to be myself. Not for me, but for you, as a promise to your own heart. Cancer, you've always had a natural gift for making others feel safe like home. You know when to ask the gentle question, when to offer warmth through a glance, when to quietly hold space without needing words. But underneath those nurturing instincts lives something else too. A mask you've carried for years. One so seamless, so familiar, you might not even realize it's there. This mask doesn't always look like pretending. Sometimes it's your calm tone when your heart is in chaos. Sometimes it's the comforting smile that says, "I've got this," even when you don't. Other times, it's your ability to blend in, take care of everyone else, and not need too much, so you never risk being too much. And every time you put it on, a part of you stays hidden, protected behind the story of being okay. But why the need to protect so much, Cancer? The answer might trace all the way back to childhood. Maybe you noticed early on that love came more easily when you were helpful. Sweet, quiet, the one who made things easier for others. You may have learned that your needs had to come second, or that sharing your sadness made people uncomfortable, and slowly, a quiet belief took root. If I express too much, I'll scare them away. If I stay small, I'll be safe. That belief didn't just disappear. It followed you, shaping how you show up. Now, you might carefully measure what you share, avoiding being a burden. You edit yourself to make sure others still see you as lovable, strong, soft, but not too soft. And even in a room full of people, you might feel completely alone, like no one really knows the version of you who feels everything so deeply. But even the most well-worn mask begins to crack. And this week, those cracks will become more visible. The moon, your ruling planet, is opposing Saturn, activating your fourth house, the deepest part of your chart. Home, emotional safety, and childhood memory. This is like a wind from the past swinging open a door you thought you had sealed long ago. A moment might arise that reminds you of how hard you used to try just to be seen, just to feel worthy of love. This emotional opposition may reveal itself in small ways. A friend brushing past your vulnerability with a joke, someone interrupting you just when you were about to open up, or a moment where you have nothing to give and wonder if anyone will stay just for you. These aren't just random annoyances, they are signs, invitations, reminders of the quiet belief that love must be earned. But the universe isn't here to punish you. It's offering you a moment of truth, a rare window where you can finally see the survival patterns you've carried for too long. The truth is, you don't need to be the strong one to deserve love. You don't have to hold it all together to be worthy of care. You are enough, even in stillness, even in silence. For Cancer, silence can feel terrifying. It strips away control. There are no comforting words to soften the edges, but that silence is exactly where the truth settles in. The people who truly love you don't need you to be perfect. They stay even when you fall apart, even when you have no answers, no emotional offering, no strength to give. And let's be clear, your mask isn't a villain. It protected you. It helped you survive moments when emotional safety wasn't guaranteed. But like a childhood blanket, there comes a day when you no longer need to carry it everywhere. When you begin to realize your real heart, your rawness, your depth, that's what people are longing to meet. And when you finally dare to remove the mask, something sacred happens. The air becomes lighter. The tears you've been holding no longer sting. And the people who stay, they're the ones you can finally trust with your heart. If these words speak to something inside you, leave me a quiet comment. I am worthy even without trying. Say it not just to me, but to the part of yourself that still wonders if love has conditions. Let it be your anchor, your reminder that you're enough, exactly as you are. For Cancer, the same emotional light falls differently on each heart. This week, the energy of being truly seen isn't meant to overwhelm you. It's here to guide you closer to your truth. Let's explore which birth group you belong to and how the universe is gently shaping the exact moment where something within you softens and finally reveals itself. Group 1. The 21st of June. The 1st of July. Vulnerability revealed in work or expression. You're thoughtful, emotionally intuitive, and often the quiet stabilizer in any room. But this week, you might experience a moment where your emotions surface before you can contain them, a message sent too soon, a phrase spoken with too much feeling, or a moment in conversation where you suddenly forget how to protect yourself. With the moon touched by Neptune's gentle fog, and Jupiter expanding everything it touches, your carefully held emotions may unexpectedly spill into view. Common scenario. You're in a meeting or conversation where someone hits a nerve you didn't know was still sensitive. You answer honestly, maybe even say, "I'm not sure how I feel about this," or "This has been a bit much lately." You fear it might seem unprofessional, but the reaction you receive surprises you. Instead of judgment, people lean in. Instead of pulling away, they offer space. Your honesty, though raw, draws in trust. Advice: speak gently and slowly. Don't rush to patch over emotion with logic. Let a pause do the talking if needed. You don't have to be the strong one all the time. What you'll discover is that respect doesn't always come from composure. Sometimes it comes from realness. And when you allow yourself to be human, people connect not just to your skills, but to you. Group 2. The 2nd of July. The 11th of July. A heart connection reveals how deeply you feel. Your heart is a sacred space. You give so much, often without asking for anything in return. But this week, someone close, a partner, family member, friend, or even someone you've drifted from, picks up on what you've been hiding. You've been managing, holding steady, smiling through it, but your energy doesn't lie. Something in your voice, your eyes, your silence speaks for you. Scenario. You say, "I'm okay," but they see the weight behind it. You go to meet someone you've avoided, and instead of small talk, you find yourself saying, "I've just been tired in a way I can't explain." And just like that, a part of your emotional wall softens. You might wonder, if I'm not the strong one anymore, will they still need me? But the deeper truth reveals itself. The ones who truly matter don't need you to be perfect. They need you. Advice: don't rush to fix or explain your emotions. Try asking, "Can I share something I've been holding in?" Then let yourself be still. If they reach back even with silence, even with presence, that's the start of a new kind of bond. One built not on what you give, but on who you are, when you have nothing left to give. Group 3. The 12th of July, the 22nd of July, an inner gift comes to light. There's something within you, a talent, a story, an offering that you've kept quiet, maybe even questioned its worth, whether it's a creative idea, a small healing project, a nurturing role you're meant to grow into. You've been waiting for the right time to share. But this week, the universe gently urges you forward, not with pressure, but with synchronicity. Scenario: someone invites you to speak, post, create, or lead, and you hesitate. Then you think, maybe this is the moment. So you share a piece of writing, a dream, a small step, not with confidence, but with honesty. And what you receive isn't judgment, but recognition, not applause, but resonance. Advice: let go of the idea that you must have it all figured out before being seen. You don't need polish, you need presence. Try a 48-hour, share it anyway window. Send that message, publish that post, show that piece to someone safe. You'll realize the light you've been holding back doesn't need to be spectacular. It just needs to be real. Whichever group you fall into, this week holds a sacred invitation to step beyond the fear of being too much, too messy, too emotional, and simply be seen, not for what you do, not for what you give, but for who you are when the mask slips away. That's where your true magnetism lives, not in performance, but in presence. When the moment comes, when the tears rise, or the fear of not being enough whispers in your ear, stay. Breathe. Let your soul take the mic for once. If there's pain, feel it. If there's silence, honor it. If someone stays, receive them. The universe doesn't want you to perform this week. It wants you to be real. If this resonates with you, if you found your story in one of these groups, gently like this video, subscribe for the next message, and anchor this moment with a comment below. I am ready to be seen. Cancer. There's a delicate but powerful truth that's rising to the surface for you this week. The sacred difference between being seen and being known. Being seen is when others notice the version of you you've curated. Your smile, your gestures, the way you hold space for others so gracefully. It's like a warm light shining on your shell, beautiful, polished, comforting. But being known, that's something deeper. That's when someone senses the ache behind your silence, sees the memories in your eyes, and feels the unspoken softness beneath your strength. To be known, you must let someone gently inside. Let them near the parts you've carefully protected. Let them meet your real heart. And this week, something inside you is shifting. You'll begin to feel a new kind of pull, not toward doing, but toward being. Not toward fixing or pleasing, but simply showing up as you are. And in that stillness, your true magnetism will rise. Because Cancer, your energy is magnetic not because it's loud, but because it's real. Not because it dazzles, but because it feels like home. True magnetism isn't about sparkle. It's about sincerity. It's not the result of effort, but of peace. It flows when you stop trying to be enough and simply remember that you already are. And the more you rest in your truth, the more you attract those who are meant to find you, not for what you do, but for who you are when your guard is down. Astrologically, this moment is supported in a rare and beautiful way. Jupiter forms a harmonious trine with the Moon, your ruling planet. That opens an invisible doorway between your inner world and the hearts around you. Conversations that used to skim the surface now drop into depth, not because you push them, but because you invite them with your quiet presence. And the surprising part? The less you try to say the right thing, the more naturally connection finds its way to you. You may feel this unfold in simple moments. A coffee with someone where you find yourself saying, "I've been feeling things I haven't shared in a while." Or maybe it's in a quiet exchange, a message you send that doesn't try to impress, just cares. And instead of fading into silence, it opens something in them and in you. These aren't dramatic revelations. They're like the first light of morning. Soft, honest, unforgettable. Cancer. This week is your reminder. Your worth doesn't lie in how polished you appear. It lives in how open you're willing to be. You don't need to sparkle to be worthy. You don't need to carry everyone else's emotions to be needed. You don't need to have the answers to be respected. You just need to be there. Really there. And let yourself be known. Because in the end, being seen might earn you admiration. But being known, that builds belonging. That builds a sacred, quiet kind of love that doesn't ask you to perform. And when you finally allow that love in, when you stop chasing and start receiving, you'll realize you've become your own steady source of light. And that light never burns out. If these words resonate, if something inside you feels quietly understood, leave me a small comment to anchor this shift. I choose real connection. And don't forget to like and subscribe so we can keep walking this path together, because where this is leading is even more beautiful than you imagine. Cancer. Not every lesson from the universe arrives with thunder. Sometimes, the most profound shifts come wrapped in silence, a gentle test that shakes you, not through chaos, but through an intimate question whispered into your soul. Can you still love yourself when you're not strong, not needed, and have nothing to offer but your truth? This week, that question may rise quietly, not demanding an answer out loud, but asking you to feel its weight inside. And if you're honest with yourself, you've been circling this question for years. Because you, Cancer, have learned to equate being loved with being useful. You've offered warmth, guidance, care, and when you couldn't, you sometimes pulled away, afraid you no longer had a place. You've used nurturing as a shield, caretaking as a role. But underneath, there's a soft, scared voice that sometimes wonders, if I stop giving, will anyone stay? This week may bring you face to face with that voice. Not to punish you, but to set you free. You might find yourself in a situation where your usual defenses don't show up. You're too tired to please, too emotionally full to smooth things over. Or maybe someone sees you in a moment where you're not your composed self, and you have no way to hide, no time to explain, no energy to perform. But here's the quiet miracle. That moment could be the beginning of your greatest liberation. Because when you realize that your worth was never tied to how much you give, that you are lovable even in your stillness, the entire structure of your world shifts. The weight you've carried for so long begins to lift. You stop chasing love and begin receiving it. You stop proving and start belonging. And be warned, Once you've tasted that kind of connection, the kind that meets you in your softness, without expectation or reward, you won't be able to settle for anything less. You'll stop trying to earn love with sacrifice. You'll stop offering pieces of yourself to people who only know your outer layers. It's a turning point. A no return, but in the best way possible. Of course, it won't always be easy. There will be days when the quiet feels too quiet, when no one praises your efforts, and you wonder if you still matter. There will be moments when your instincts scream, go back to what's safe, be who they expect. But if you stay, if you hold your ground, and keep your heart open, you'll discover a calm you've never known, a steadiness that doesn't depend on applause. Cancer, this is the crossroads. Will you keep wearing the mask of emotional control, the version of you that gives and gives, hoping someone sees through it? Or will you step forward, bare and beautiful, choosing vulnerability over perfection? Will you choose safety that keeps you unseen, or freedom? Even if it's tender and uncertain, the universe won't decide for you. It simply hands you the key. The threshold is yours to cross. And if you do, you'll realize everything you were searching for, love, home, worthiness, was never outside you. It's always been within. If you're hearing these words now, pause. Place your hand over your heart. Take a breath and say quietly to yourself, when I am myself, I am free. Then leave that exact sentence in the comments. Not for me, but as a message to your own soul and a sign to the universe that you're ready to stop hiding. And if you want to keep receiving messages like this, reminders of your light, your softness, your truth, don't forget to like and subscribe, because we've only just begun this journey together. Dear Cancer, if you've made it to this moment, you already know this isn't just about astrology. It's about you, about removing the armor, about looking into your own reflection with softness instead of critique, about learning that you don't have to earn the right to be loved. The deepest truth I can leave you with is this: true magnetism has nothing to do with how much you do for others. It has everything to do with how deeply you accept yourself, even in the moments no one is watching. When you choose to show up sincerely, the universe will bring the people who don't need your performance, only your presence. In the quiet moments ahead, when you're tempted to retreat back into your shell, remember this: peace is not in hiding. It's in allowing yourself to be fully seen and still loved. Say to yourself often, I am enough. Let that be the balm for every old fear. And if today's message found you at the right time, anchor it by commenting, when I am myself, I am free. Until next time, Cancer, you are the light of your own life, and that light has never gone out. See you in the next video.